Dear Mr. Big Shots, I want you to remember this name. His name is Bobby Lewis, to whom I dedicate this campaign. When I got down here in terrible Terrell County in 1995, I did not have a farm tractor on which to ride. Instead, I had 1,600 acres of weed-infested land. But this brother came along and offered a strong helping hand. He and his brothers were no longer farming, since they were run off of their land, but they had an old Case tractor and a disc harrow gang. So they plowed up our land enough to get our first crop in. So I will forever see him as a valuable friend. As I got involved in the black farmers lawsuit, the Lewis farm family was one of the cases I pursued. I know that you all don't know farming nor economics of production, so you don't know the tricks used in a farm's economic destruction. A farmer, to be successful, has got to do everything on schedule, because Mother Nature don't play and she accepts no delay. If you don't get it right, you will get no crop today. At the beginning of each season, a farmer must reason how much operating capital he will need for that season. White farmers bring in their plan to the USDA man, and he puts a checkbook in the white farmer's hand, with a balance to cover what he needed to cultivate his land. When a tractor breaks down or he needs fuel to keep plowing, he just pulls out his checkbook and writes a check for the balance. At the end of the season, and he has harvested his crops, he pays back the loans that he made at the government house. If he makes a profit, he puts that in his pocket. If he comes up short for any reason, they just roll it over for another season. But that's not how they dealt with the black farmers. The USDA provided them with supervised loans only. They didn't get a loan with a checkbook they could own. The USDA man would tell them if they could spend from their loan. The USDA man would be missing or produce some other delay, so that the black farmers would lose day after day. So when the crop was ready to harvest, the yield and the price they received would not be the best. But guess what? They had to pay that loan back, or the USDA would load more interest to their stack until they would step in and foreclose on that land tract that they had to use to back the loan that they got. So when Bobby needed to buy parts to fix his tractor, he had to go to the tractor dealer and get an invoice. Then he had to go to the USDA loan supervisor to get a check. They had to go back to the dealer to get his part and back on track. So Bobby devised a plan to get to his money and quicker. He would make up an invoice, so one step he would skip, but because at the end of the day he had to pay it all back. Well, they call that fraud, so the USDA launched their legal attack. So Bobby was found guilty and he lost his freedom and land. But now his story becomes a fire in my brand. So now I stand up to Terrell County, to the powers that be. You now face a real threat to your hegemony. So when you see me on this campaign trail, I represent Bobby Lewis and the other black farmers that you all gave hell.